Thank you everybody for showing up to this Monday, 9th December, December 9th, sorry, Fieldnotes and LegalShield webinar that we do. How is everybody doing? Enjoy your weekend. I can say that I did. I had a lot of car problems, so that's what I was enjoying. So
I don't know how you have fun with car issues, but okay.
yeah,
Are you a mechanic?
I want to be someday. You know what I mean? I'm a, I'm a forgetful mechanic. But yeah, I had my whole weekend full of mechanical things to do and surprises. So I'm glad I was able to get those things done. But I'm glad everybody else is doing well. And so, with these newcomers that we have, Michelle and Bill, I was gonna just briefly maybe talk to them a little bit of the reason for picking their CRM, how they're going to use it. I already kind of know, but of course I wanted to just kind of leave that here on the platform for other people if they were considering the CRM, why other people consider the CRM. And so I don't know if Bill wants to talk, if Michelle wants to talk, but your main reason for using a CRM, because I know you were using other platforms, and you're welcome to mention them if you want or not. I'm okay with it. But to my knowledge, what is it safe to say marketing, right? For mass email campaigns. You're muted, by the way, Michelle.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So mass email campaigns, you've got a couple of audience that you need to obviously spread the word about, and you considered Fieldnotes and decided to join the platform for that reason alone, correct?
Yeah, kind of. If I'm still trying to figure out all that I can do with it before I jump in
Okay.
because I had talks with my two clients this weekend.
Mhm.
And okay, so one thing that is important is that what if I want to send I don't know, a happy birthday message, is there a trigger that can be utilized so that, on their birthday
So let's say you wanted to
someone
automate that,
gives?
right?
I'm sorry?
Let's say you wanted to automate that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that is something you can do. So
Okay.
in these contacts, and let's get to a contact that is a person, that way it just makes, so we can use this example, Cameron. So he doesn't have a birthday applied to his account, but we can easily go to the birthday field, which is right here. I think
Okay.
it's in personal information, and we can give him a birthday, right? So
Okay.
Jeremy,
let's
if you want to, feel free to go into mine because I've got that all set up and you can use mine if you want to.
because of the sensitive information, I would rather, because all of this is dummy information, and I've had videos.
All the sensitive information's in Patty's. I'm not sensitive.
But your users
Yeah,
are,
that's for true.
and if they see their emails and phone numbers on a open forum, I would hate to be part of that one. You know, try to stay a little bit compliant. So we'll go with February 5th, 1982. Everybody can guess whose birthday that is. And then we can save it. So that would be the number one thing, is to capture birthday. That has always been a problem with people because they never capture birthdays in the beginning, whether if it's through conversation, whether it's through an upload. So they find themselves, they want to do what you want to do, but they have no birth dates. So now they have to figure out either how to get them or create a campaign that emails them and somehow explains how you weren't able to capture their, or
Okay. Well,
go ahead.
when we download
Shield at work data and things like that.
Shield at Work stuff, they
It does.
have, yeah.
Right.
So,
Sometimes people don't upload that information at the beginning, and then it's going to require them to have to go back. And so then that's the challenge. So the only thing to mention is capture this information when you can, get it into the account as soon as possible so we can actually set up a trigger, right?
okay.
That's the key point. So with Cameron, now that he has the birthday, you can go to our action plans, right? Because that's where
Okay.
you would do the automation. And let's go find a happy birthday email. Oh, there it is. Get out of here. So you have your, now I've seen this where when it comes to the birthdays, you can auto trigger off of the birthday and do a couple of things. So one, it can be an appointment to yourself, right? To either make the phone call personally, so it's kind of like you it's a little bit more personal. You call the person, you have a conversation, you wish them a happy birthday, that kind of thing. If that's your type of, you know, wishing somebody a happy birthday, then you can set up an appointment, maybe like an all day reminder, right? So it's not time specific. Or if you want to block time in your day to do these types of things, you can set it up time specific, or this
No.
is an all
Okay.
day reminder, right? So by unchecking this, you can actually set up a date and time to do that. It can also be set up as a to do, but I would think the to do might get lost in the sauce because it's there's like no real reminder. It's just going to live there. So
I'm not gonna call anybody. I just want to send them
a message.
a
Okay.
message. Yeah.
So with the appointment, not something that you would do, but just for everybody to know, you could set up an appointment so that you do. I had a real estate agent who wanted to set up an appointment 10 days in advance from the birthday so that it cued her to send that person a birthday card. And she had a box full of birthday cards. She would pull one out, send it, address it, sign it off.
Yeah.
And she loved that personal touch in her customers as well. But for you, we can do an email and we can do a text. So if you wanted to have a short little text message, wishing
Yeah.
them, you could do that as well. Or you could set up an email. It really doesn't matter what you choose. You just have to basically pick it, right? So this is how you would compose.
Can you do both?
You certainly can. You certainly
Okay.
can. So you could have an email here, and let's say instead of this appointment, you could have 5 minutes after the email went out, you could have a text message go, right?
Okay, perfect.
So you could set that up and customize it as you wish. So once you've decided on what the message is going to look like, what the happy birthday message is going to be. Oh, this is happy Thanksgiving.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Right,
Don't
right.
worry
So
about it.
this is just a
So
mock-up,
you can
but
insert a picture.
you can basically pull this one out and you can go find any of your, if you have any stock images or if you use Canva, right? Or you
That's
can
it.
go
Yeah.
online.
I use Canva a lot.
So you could create your own. I think we also have a couple already created in
I
our
like my
library.
stuff.
So once you've decided what the email is and the internal trigger, so if it's send now or one of these other options, which is I wouldn't necessarily send in a couple of days, but let's say minutes from trigger per se. But
Yeah.
send now is the typical, right? So once the trigger is picked, which is going to be its birth date, it would
Yeah.
essentially send it now. So this is done. Now you basically go to the trigger plan and we use this schedule by event date. And then we look between the options that we have, which is a lot of dates that you can pick from, right? But we're going to select a birthday. And then you have is today or is in, right? So if it's in 3 days, you can set that up, right? So that it
No,
tells
I
you,
send it the day of their birthday, for
then you would
example.
use is today.
Okay.
So based on their birthday, right,
Uh,
it is going to, and whatever's in this field, it is going to,
Perfect. That's what I want. Okay.
and then you can basically set this up with the frequency. Obviously, you don't want this weekly or monthly. You'll use yearly.
Yep.
So this is not something that you're thinking about. And if you wanted, right, so that you could see possibly who this might go to, you can actually search the contact and you'll see here, Cameron is the person who I gave February the
Yeah.
5th, the
Yeah.
trigger date. So he shows up, myself, Carrie, basically anybody with a birth date in the
Birthday.
field is going to show. So this is going to confirm to you, these are the people, these are your audience, right?
Okay.
And if you add new people and you add them and you give them a birthday, then this will also basically trigger as
Again.
well because
Okay.
they're going to
Perfect.
be detected,
Okay.
right? So I like this little search contacts because it tells you whether if you've kind of set this up correctly. And then
Mm-hmm.
you essentially just hit schedule. And
And
now
then
this is
forget
live.
it. And then forget it until the next year where,
Yeah,
where
or you want to
when you
switch out
change your
the,
message,
exactly. But
you
in
change the
theory,
picture.
you could leave this alone and then you can come to, let's say what, December, when does the December go to 31st? It
Yeah,
does. So
so
So you can go to the, 31st in the evening and you could switch out the photo. Or if you
Yeah.
don't have anybody with any birthdays within that gap, you can change it within that time frame. And
Yeah.
then the next set of birthdays that start going out will have the new photo, right?
Okay.
So really easy when it comes to setting up birthdays and for setting up other things as well, right? Because you have,
Jeremy,
So
Jeremy,
yes, sir.
yeah, you just a little quick question. You put in the full birthday day, month, and year. If you don't have the year, will it still work?
Um, that's a good question. So what I'll say to that is, does everybody remember the code? I think it's 9969. Now I'm forgetting what the code was. Crap.
so you can make like a phony year
You,
in the
you can
date
give
of
it
birth.
you can give it a specific year, and let me just see if I have that. Actually, I think I have that with Jeremy. There we go. So you see how these show up and they don't have any year placed?
Yeah.
It's because it has this year 9996. So
Okay.
if you do not have, or let's say you want to withhold, right, that year actually showing, because if you don't put this in the birthday field, it's going to show the year that they were born, right? And in your messages, if you wanted to smart tag, right, that this date, which I guess is kind of obvious, so that I don't think you might want to do that. But if you did, right, if you had that like a message and then you smart tag. So what a smart tag is the
Okay.
following. I'll show you. So in the message, if you, within the words of the message, right, wanted to wish you and your family a wonderful Thanksgiving. But let's just say, you had something that said on this day, you could you could actually smart tag the date. And so what this little tag will do is actually go to the contact and put that
On
date
the
in there.
date.
Right. So now if you use the 9969, then it will withhold that date from this being visible. But if you do put like the 1982 or whatever their birth date really is, it'll actually show. So this is, yeah, I probably wouldn't smart tag the date in there. However,
That's not
just
necessary. Why would that be necessary anyway?
it just depends if the message kind of required it. However, this is what smart tagging is, right? So all of the fields that you see here can be used within the contact in, like email or text message. So like, let's say law firm info, if you had the law firm phone number and email address or information website, you could
Yeah.
place it here and then you could smart tag this information in your
Oh,
signature. You could do
okay.
this, right? So then that when you send them out, it always imports their law firm information, which could be helpful, right? So that's what smart tagging is. Not
Okay.
not everything requires to do it, but just for you to know that at the same time, if you use that 9969, it will withhold the year from the smart tagging. So,
So, a couple of things I can throw in there, Jeremy. First, yes, Bill, it doesn't need the year. All it needs is the month and the day. And from that, it will send out the birthday message, whether there's a year or not. And then the other thing is with the smart tag, he was just showing Michelle, what I use that for is once I put somebody into the system that's a new member, part of what goes into the system is what state they live in. So when my welcome message goes out to them, among other things that it's telling them, it also says, and as a reminder, your law firm is, and it automatically puts in Washington, Lumpino Martino. In another state, it puts in whatever the law firm is in that state, all automatically without me having to do anything,
yep,
because it all triggers off the fact that that data is in there in my database and it just picks it up, and instead of having to remember to type in Lombino Martino or whatever the law firm may be, it is entered with that person when I put them in. And then that being a smart link in my welcome, it picks up whatever it happens to be in that field for that person. So I don't have to worry about it. Or in the future, if I want to send a reminder at the end of the year, hey, did you get a chance to talk to Lombino Martino this year? And if so, I'd love to hear the results. I can put a smart tag in there and I don't have to type Lombino Martino. It just automatically puts in whatever the law firm is for them.
Okay,
Because-
but it has to
because you-
be, it
because
has
you've
to
got the
be
state-
in each and every contact.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to live in each and every contact, but you can create an action plan with it that has the email with it, or you can have it as a template. So it can be a template email as well, right? Which you would most likely do manual. So let's say it's, it's something that you send out you like to send the welcome email, let's say manually. As you enter them, maybe you don't do groups, so it's not like you're doing bulk uploads. You just do maybe, one at a time kind of thing. And let's say you send that welcome email out with a template message. You could also send those
Okay.
through
Okay.
templates as well. So
Okay.
essentially,
Keep going. Keep going. I like it more and more every minute.
I guess with that, I mean, setting up the birthdays and the triggers, there's many other dates that you can set up, right? And you can change these dates to to other dates that are more important for you if you wanted to trigger messages on specific dates. You've got a
Mm.
couple fields that you can use. And then if you trying to think of maybe some other interesting triggers that you might want to do. I mean, you can trigger from a sphere. So if you wanted
What?
to send out a sphere is these two categories. It's called plans, chosens are often, but it's essential tag or badge. These are called spheres, right? But essentially by just utilizing or selecting any of these and then saving it to a contact, you could start a whole campaign, right? So if somebody said to you, you were, just speaking to them, following up with them, and they wanted to get more information about maybe any of the plans that you have information on that they're not part of, you can essentially set up a 30-day, 60-day campaign about, let's say, ID Shield, right? Let's say it's got a couple of emails in the first week that talk about the program. Hopefully, it's trying to point them to you about signing up. And if you put all the links to kind of like manage all the low-hanging fruit, then they might just get this communication and sign up on their own without having you to do anything because you built a campaign that gave them the steps to do so, right?
Okay. Okay.
Then you could also have follow-up. So if they didn't, you know what I mean? You could also have follow-up appointments for you to review this account to see, did they sign up? And then if they didn't, maybe you give them another phone call and you could set that campaign up for 60 days, 180 days, however you want to keep the follow-up until they say, no, thank you. We saw it. We're not going to be using it. And then, you can basically note the account so that it's not something you can disable the action plan so it doesn't continue to notify you on it and all said and done, but at least you did it through just one of these spheres or tags, badges, however you want to call them. And so that's also a unique way to send out and to start campaigns, right? Triggering things. So you can trigger off of all of these different categories. You can trigger when specific information is entered. So let's say you enter in a new contact and they have a legal plan and they have an ID Shield plan. You could start an action plan sending them, let's say, a welcome, how to set up the app, all kinds of like retention type of emails to make sure that they're staying engaged and that kind of thing, and utilizing all of the tools and things that they have at their disposal with the plan. And then and you can simply trigger based on whether if you put information in there. So when you uploaded a handful of groups with any of these plans and you've got triggers set up to send this information out, once it detects, that'll save you time. Essentially, what you have to do is sit down, get a good understanding of how the triggers and what you can trigger off of, because there's, as you can see, a handful of, we've got advanced options, we've got business rules, we've got the dates and event dates that you can trigger off of. And so you really can kind of customize it to your heart's desire in all these different kinds of situations so that it's not something that you have to manage physically, right?
Okay, can you go back where it says birthday and show me real quick the categories?
Sure. I got to disable it real quick, but it's no worry. And you've got birthday, spouse birthday, you've got wedding anniversary, but that can be changed to something that means that's more important for you.
Okay,
Um,
whatever.
production date,
Mhm.
effective date, cancel date, last plan amount. I think this is, yeah, this could have been changed so that's why that, but it's a date field, right?
Yeah.
Pre-canceled. Um, the remind me trigger. This is kind of new. The way that the way that this kind of came out of the woodworks is contacts have, we can go to any contact to show you what this is. And this is a remind me trigger. Click here to set up the trigger. So what our team needed was for specific groups that we work with and help them and manage their accounts for them, right? So it's a different service. Um, if they set up a meeting with this person, right, you can set up an action plan that will then, based off of this date, send them communications, right? So let's say, I think we use this for real estate agents, for lawyers, for some other or for some other customers that we do the intake for them. When we get somebody and they accept to a specific date, such as a meeting, a follow-up or something like that, we go ahead and put in the date here. However, there is an action plan that is using this trigger so that it will send out communications days before the meeting is to come, and it notifies them, just, hey, heads up, in the next couple of days you have a meeting with, here's here's some information,
Okay.
that kind of thing. So it's used for a different reason, but people like yourselves, if you wanted to set up an action plan, and if you do set up meetings and you want people to hopefully show up, that's what it was. We were setting up a lot of dates for people and a lot of meetings, and people just weren't showing up. So I said to them, well, why don't we kind of create something like this to where our team, all they have to do is click this, quickly enter the date, save from here, so they don't have to go over here. They don't have to go find and scroll the date. We needed something that was just quick access from the main part of their account. And that's where this came. You can put in the date here, or you can select this and then select the date and the time. And then you can hit save, and then it will capture the date and trigger. And then the agent really doesn't have to think about doing anything. All they have to do is just record the date, save it, and then now they can leave the account, and then they'll know that maybe, depending on how you set up the triggers and the timing, 7 days before, it reminds them, oh, by the way,
Okay. Well,
you have this that you have this up
I,
and
I,
coming
I
event.
don't know how I would, well,
Maybe
that's not
later on,
something
it might be
that-
something that, based on situations, you're like, oh, I'd like to set this up, and we have it available.
okay.
But that's just another thing that you can trigger off of, right? So
Okay.
those
And
were
you
the
can
dates.
build all your templates ahead of time. So let's say I want all the new group member, I want to send them a welcome email. Let's say ID Shield, Legal Shield, okay? I want
Mhm.
to send them a welcome email reminding them to activate their account. And then after 5 day on day 5, I want them to get the member perks
Email, right?
email.
How to use
And
it,
then
all
uh
that
and
information.
then at 30 days, I want to send them a reminder to set up to make sure that they set it up their
Oreo
ID
Cool.
shield.
Cheese has made an approach about a possible takeover of the chocolate giant.
Let me see.
Hello.
Yep, we've got somebody. I think they just went mute. So yes, that is correct. And I think we have an action plan like that kind of already built. So if you wanted to see an example of one, we can go to the import action plans. And in the import action plans, I think this is it Legion or Nurture?
Like
Member
it's
retention. And here you can basically see, so great connecting with you. Is this, let me see what this one is. Click here for your link. I think this one is better. So this is the welcome and activate, has
Okay.
this little
Okay.
graphic. And then the next
So
day,
I can use those, or could I like import that message into a different campaign that is mine. So let's
Yes.
say
And
you have those, okay? So
yes.
yeah, I like the first email in your legacy employee benefit campaign,
But you
okay?
want to use it in
I,
something else.
but I don't like number two. I want to do my own number two.
Yeah. No, you can totally do that, right? And I think I took this one and I deconstructed it in message templates, and I'll show you where you can find that. So in our library, which is, it has a little lock. I think this is, let me see if it's, here it is. Under group servicing, it's this 22 TM, which is for Trend Micro Legacy. And so it is that same action plan that I just showed you, but
Okay.
you can see how I broke it up into A and B. So A and B is, this is the legacy without Trend Micro. This is with Trend Micro. And these are just independent standalone emails. So if you
So
wanted
I can
to,
just take that and add it into my campaign.
correct. You can then, now that you know that these exist, right? You can then
Mm-hmm.
go to action plans. And let's say you wanted to kind of create your own, right? You could do that. Let me see if I have one that we can play around with. Let's just do our own. I'm just going to call it test remember. And we can basically hit save. So now that we have a basic clean action plan that we can start from, and you can say to yourself, I'm going to start with an email. And then here is the pick from template button.
Okay,
And
okay.
then it'll give you access to my library and all of your library, right? So if you spent the time and built your own library and then built from, you could actually pull from your own, or you can pull from ours. And then so it just requires you to kind of have an idea of where it is, and then
Okay.
you can start building it out. And then now you have that here. Now here's a good example for smart tags, right? This is a smart tag for the legal plan number, so that when this email
So
goes out,
that will insert the membership number of that specific person. Okay.
that is correct. That is correct.
Good.
I know Kathy Lucas and Cassie Prinky, if there is no number, what they do is when they do the mass upload, they'll put in a phrase that says, this plan has not been chosen, or something along that verbiage,
Okay.
so
Uh-huh.
that if they people see this and they read this and they go, oh, well, I don't have this. Oh, well, I do want to get it, right? Well, then now they have a reason to call you and to make sure, hey, can you add this to, to my service? Or if in your signature you have their information site, right? For some of the people that work with the
Yeah.
company, they have an actual site they can go to
Yeah.
and add on stuff. You could, if you had that link available, they would be able to do it themselves, or they contact you for it. So that's just something that is good. These all are hyperlinks to the members' perks, to the 101 reasons to
Okay.
use your membership, the will preparation guide, right? So these are well thought out, but you can always, if you have a different verbiage, if you like a different flow of steps, you can always come in, edit these, and make it your own, right?
Uh-huh.
But now you can simply, once you've selected the email and you like it, you can basically select the type of trigger that you're going to do, and then you can hit save. And now we have the first step. If
Okay.
you wanted to go back, you could do another email. You could go to the templates, and then you can begin to select from yours, from the library, to your heart's desire, right? I
Okay.
I tell everybody when you're
What does it
building.
take?
Mhm.
What does it take to unlock your library?
So what the lock means is that you can't edit these, but what you can do is you can download them, right? So the lock essentially means you just can't edit, but we do allow you to save the draft as your own. So
Oh, okay.
let me go to this first one, and you see how you have it here, and there's a button that says save as. That allows you to then go to all of your different folders, so you can create your own folder scheme of where you want to put this communication, and then you
Uh-huh.
can. So membership, I'm going to just put it in the default folder. I'll leave this title, and then I'll save it. And now when I go to my membership folder, I have that email. And now once it's on my folder, now you can edit these and do as you wish. right?
Okay.
You can customize them. You can follow the format. Now, if you wanted to keep this format, but you wanted to make it for, let's say, a different demographic, a different state, a different, team or whatever it may be, you actually have to where you can save this as a new template, and then you can just kind of keep, copying it and not
Okay,
have to start from scratch.
so let's say I have in my list, I have their name, email address, blah, 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 and full address with a specific column for the state.
Okay.
Could could the state be the
The trigger?
uh when you put your, what do you call the at ID shield, blah blah? What do you call
Oh
that?
yeah, the smart tag.
The smart tag. Could the
Could that be used here?
yeah,
Let's say you
so
wanted to have a sentence that spoke about, this
yeah,
is the
because
state that you're from or something along those
exactly.
lines.
So by for example, I'm working with a gal who has a big group. There's like 2,500 employees, and they're all over the country.
Yeah,
Perfect. So you would like to acknowledge the fact from where they're from, right?
Yeah, so when they get their email, their welcome email,
So
they
you
get
could type
it.
state, right? You can actually type what you're thinking that you want to import because you know the field, right?
Uh-huh.
So this is right address. You got multiple. LegalShield gives us 3 slots. So unfortunately, to sync with them, we had to have 3 slots for addresses. But you could smart tag 1 or all 3 or 2 if you need. You
Okay.
can do the city and you can do the state. Now there's only abbreviations, right? There's only
Yeah,
abbreviations for the state.
yeah.
But you could also do the city, state, and zip code. That way, you know what I mean? And how you would do it essentially is just you would do state, you could do a comma, you can do another at, and then you can let me see if it
another thing to think about, Michelle, everything that's in the database is a smart tag. There is nothing in this database you can't put into an email, a text message, or whatever, because every one of those fields, the definition of that field is its smart tag. So there's a smart tag for every single field in the database.
Okay.
There's nothing in this database you can't have automatically inserted into an email or
message.
a text message or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
Yep. And so now here, in this one, you've got the state, city, and zip. So if you wanted to, send this out based on what is in the contacts categories and what data is saved, it will send this out with that information. And so you can smart tag that and can just add that and put that wherever
Why
you
would
want.
I put the city and the zip?
It was just to show you.
Okay.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
okay.
just to see how you can search like spelling the letter, like spelling out the category, or you can go through all of the options. You just have to. So
Okay,
since this is a lot,
so let's say that I download at the beginning of next month, I download 150 new members in
Mhm.
that group, and they're from all different states. So when I do the hashtag, I'm gonna call it's not hashtag,
At
the
symbol,
the what you call it?
At sign,
at sign.
Yeah, well, I know it's the at sign, but what do you call that at sign thing? It's
smart tag.
the smart tag. So
Gotcha.
when I add the smart tag, it's going to say your provider law firm is ... and then below that, I do smart
Smart
tag
tag state.
state.
Or like in this one, we used one of these fields and we put law firm info, and this is where you could have like Bob said, all of the law firm's name, the phone number,
But that's individually, right?
this is correct. This is just a blank form, but this is where you would put for that contact for each and every person, right? So it would be something that you would have to make sure each line has its appropriate states, being that you said that these people sometimes are all over the state, across the United States. So you would just have to filter by state and then just have that information, put it in the field. And then when you upload it, everybody will have their specific state information saved to their account. And then when you
But
smart tag law firm info in the email, you'll see that it imports that information.
I'm
You're lost?
well, I am trying to tell you what I have in mind.
Okay.
Can I do like in the if I smart tag state, can it pick up the state that my contact is in
Yes.
and draw the address from a list?
No.
So it would have to be in each contact to add manually the law firm information.
Right, but the easiest way to do that, Michelle, is when I upload a group of people, I upload it on an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And so it's easy. In the case of everybody that's in Washington, I
Yeah.
basically put in one Lambito Martino once and then just copy paste for the rest of them. And obviously, if I've got somebody in Oregon, I put in that one, blah, 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 and then just upload the entire Excel spreadsheet, and it automatically then plants everything where it's supposed to be.
On the bulk upload from the beginning.
Okay. So when
you-
I get my 125 new members in January, I have to add a column and call it law firm
Law
or
firm.
whatever.
Yep.
You have
Okay.
to call it law firm info. It has to be this exact same.
Verbiage.
It has to be this exact same verbiage
Okay. In my
Right.
column. Okay.
in your column as the header, and then this will get recognized,
Okay.
and then
But
you don't have to
here-
map it yourself.
Okay, so once I get the okay from my people, which should be today, you will help me download at
Oh.
least one of my lists, right?
We're gonna most likely go through it, live it, and I'm gonna walk away with this knowing that you 100% know how to map, how
Okay.
to enter in the data in bulk, individually. Yeah, every question that you may have about uploading your contacts, I will do my best to make sure that you can manage it yourself. And then when you have any problems, you can just reach out to me.
Yeah.
Any new things that you're thinking, we can always discuss them before you move forward, and I can show you and let you
Okay.
visualize it to make sure that it's going to go in correctly. But yeah,
I told my husband I needed to rent a Airbnb for the holidays so I can work on that.
you're right over here with one of these. You know what I mean? Sorry,
Well,
Bill.
I don't.
Now it's going to be a business expense.
Hey, it is what it is. You can write it off. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, this is the best place to get the creative juices flowing, all the
Well-
birds chirping in the background, and we've got I got like a little jungle in front, and I've got hummingbird, and my wife recently has been following them. So they were the size of M&Ms, and now they're two little babies, and they just kind of poke their head out of a nest that is no bigger than a kid's palm. Like when you,
Oh yeah.
they're just super small, and then so it's like I said, I get a lot of inspiration from my visuals outside. So it's a beautiful thing.
You're not in Costa Rica, are you?
Oh, 100%.
You are. Oh, okay.
100%. Yeah. No.
Oh.
I do this. This is the Volcano Poas. So this is a volcano, and it has a beautiful little lake
Nice.
next
Yeah.
to it. And I live 25 minutes from San Jose, which is the capital,
Mhm.
Belo Horizonte, Escazú. So yeah, I inherited it from my grandfather. Can't call any other place home other than Washington, because that was my first home. When I left to the United States, I was only 3 months old, and so that's I can still consider that my first home. Costa Rica is like my second home, but it's just so hard to leave. You know what I mean?
You bet. You bet.
So-
Oh, okay. So
But yeah,
Costa Rica is Central Time, right?
We move back and forth. Right now, we are Central. So
Okay.
when the time changes, I'll go to Mountain, and then it'll go Central. But obviously, Costa Rica time stays the same. It's the hours difference for you
Yeah.
that I have to calculate.
Like Arizona.
Arizona stays, but yeah. So It's
Okay,
just relation to
so
the Pacific
so
Time.
that will be enough for one day.
It usually is. It
Yeah,
usually is. I can
and
go.
I have, at this point, I could have a thousand questions, but I'll just be repeating myself on another training or something. So I have to put it
Little chunks.
into work.
Yeah. No, totally. It especially there's a lot of moving parts just to do one thing, right?
Yeah,
So uploading contacts, yes, we got to go through getting the data in. So this is how you would do it manually, opposed to doing it in bulk, which I would say is the best bet, right? Even if you meet 10, 20, 15 people in a week, and it just depends because there's this concept of speed to lead, right? So the faster you can get the person into your system, if let's say you have some type of sales procedure, right? So once you meet them, immediately you want to obviously welcome them. And then you want to maybe within that welcome email, you ask them what's their preference as to communication, like what's the best way to communicate with you, that email. That way you can, you know, be respectful
yeah,
of their
absolutely. Yeah,
information. And if you respect them, I think people will then most likely engage more with you because you're respecting their wishes instead of just bombarding them with a bunch of stuff. So yeah, so you can set up a welcome email, and then after that, you can set up other emails that either shares information with them and also asks, when's the next time that they have available. They're going to think it's you. You're going to basically get replies to
oh,
your
yeah.
your inbox email, or if you set up campaigns with text messaging, they'll send in a message. You'll get a notification that somebody did send you a message. You can come to the CRM, see what the message is, either follow up through the CRM with another text message, or you can just pick up the phone, call them, and continue that way. But it allows you to automate a lot of different stages within your prospecting if that's what you're also going to be using it for.
Well,
So that
Bill
it's not
will most
something.
likely do that, but yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
so I'll be talking to Bill about the prospecting, and you are more going to be like for sending out mass emails, constant contacts, newsletters, all of that kind of stuff is what we're going to be
exactly.
talking about. Bill
Yeah,
is, I'll teach him how to use this to where he can create a database of potential people he wants to stay on top of, his little circle of influence. And then that way he's never dropping a ball. He's never forgetting about anybody. He's always on top of the date.
okay.
There's some things that Kathy and Cassie use, which is for their brokers. So if you guys use and have a relationship with brokers and you have accounts with them, they have a action plan that emails the broker the group that is coming up 2 months in advance to just notify them, hey, in 2 months we have open enrollment. These are the groups in question. And then 30 days prior, she has a notification to follow up with them. And she's utilizing that and getting a lot of traction with it. And, just being responsible for the dates and times and things that are coming up. So, the brokers, I know they're going to enjoy it because anything that helps them remember and stay on top of the dates and doesn't drop a ball, I think is a good thing from you guys. And so there's
Okay.
many, many different ways to use an action plan and to get the
This
benefit.
is a this is a very well built CRM and marketing platform. I never knew what to call MailChimp. I used to work with MailChimp,
Yeah.
and it was not that professional.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have the niche. They have their niche for what their program and what they want to do. But when I began to kind of look at the capabilities of this system, right? I just I just saw so many different opportunities and how it can be used for prospecting, how it can be used for marketing, right? Like with you guys are going to have multiple different views and reports. So I could definitely see how this is going to help Bill keep his life organized. You keep your groups and your things organized. Everybody's going to have their lane, their report that speaks to them, and your cables aren't going to get crossed. And so, you know, being that you guys are going to be working it together, that's going to be a really good additional feature for you guys, so that you guys, because you have total different duties than what he does. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, absolutely.
Yet,
Yeah.
yet this system alone can manage this for many different. So I have one lady with 5 different companies. She does the ERC stuff, like the electronic tax credit thing. She does medical. She's got insurance, LegalShield. I'm trying to think of what the other one was. And she's got templated emails. She's got action plans for all of those different groups and different businesses, essentially. And it all comes under one house. It's all in one place. So, you know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
see a
I
lot
know.
of
It's yeah.
CRMs that allow you to kind of expand like that. And if you do, super complicated, right? I've had a couple of chances to play with Zoho, HubSpot, and
Hotspot was the worst thing
it
on the planet.
I ran from that program pretty quick.
Oh,
And I was just trying to do something simple, which turned out to not be simple. And it's not to, I guess this is good feedback
nothing.
for them because it just wasn't simple. It was a lot of just, I mean, I needed a lot of user manuals and even the videos that I would go out there and try to get people. I was just like, is this what we have to go through nowadays, right? So really
Yeah.
difficult. And with
Okay,
ours,
so
mhm.
you have trainings twice a week?
We
No.
do these videos, we do these sessions, right? To in a group form, kind of either tackle new things. I usually have some, some things that I've been working on with people that I like to showcase. So this is a perfect place. If I don't have anything, then everybody's welcome to say, "Hey, can we talk about this?" And then we can keep it as an open discussion. You
Yeah,
guys do have my meeting link. So
yeah.
for you guys, when you guys have specific things, that's the link. You can take a 30-minute session, have a list of things that you want to look at, and then I'll do my best to evacuate all your doubts, show you what you need to be done. At that moment, you can record our session so that you can keep it for yourself and just refer to it later on. So,
Okay,
so
so
that you
we
don't
can
have
do
to,
that. Yeah.
yeah. So when it comes to that point, there's plenty. I mean, I've also had people send me pretty intense emails, right? With, I need to get this done. I need to get that done. I need to do this. And then I've just simply replied to them the steps with screenshots and things. I also
Okay.
can do little videos, screenshots, and record and then send you the link to it. So it really just depends on what kind of question you have, what's the best form, if I can do it step by step and it's clear in an email, or if I'll just turn on my camera, record myself just doing it so that you can see it go out live. It just really depends on what I feel is the
Okay.
best way to
Okay.
communicate it to you. So yeah,
So
emails and
I'll
all that
speak
stuff.
with the girls today, and you did send me the link to.
I send it to, I think, an info email, and then I send it to your personal email. So I think you should have 2 emails with that. I forwarded it to you so that
What,
I saw that it didn't get open, but I did see that today's message for the Monday session did get open. So I was like, maybe maybe she didn't see it, and so I resent it to your other email that you put in the meeting that we had that one time. So
Oh, okay. So your booking is confirmed. I opened that one and I did not open the reminder, but okay.
yeah.
So, but where did you send the link to register my people?
Let me take a look real quick.
Okay.
Let me start this.
I'm gonna
Is
here
this? I've got so many.
at the suitcase at Gmail or the other one?
I'll tell you in just a
Yeah.
second.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Sent one to info about the Monday and Thursday classes.
Let's do.
Oh, where's the dog?
Sorry, a second.
So you're sending me Bob's affiliate link?
That's the link to sign up. Yeah, for you guys.
Okay.
And then here, you guys. So I have it as Bill. And then so I sent it to info@thesoupkeys.com. And then I saw that you had a different email. I think it was.
Yeah, info
and
at
I forwarded.
thesoupkeys.com is not always coming true. So thesoupkeys at gmail.com is our official email address.
Okay, and that's the Soup Keys?
Yeah, THESUEPKES at gmail.com.
Okay, I sent it to first last name at gmail.com, but I'll go ahead
First,
and
last name, me?
yes, first, last name you.
Okay, yeah, I have two. I have one on December. I have two on December 5th. That was for the sorry, for the meeting today or last week. You're
Yes.
booking.
Yep, that's where I
That
got
was
that
for
email
Friday.
from.
That was for Friday, and
Right.
I don't have anything else from you.
Well, here, let me go ahead. I forwarded it, and but I'll go ahead and send that again. Let me just make sure I have that email.
Jeremy forwarded. Now I have it. 2 hours ago at 9 o'clock.
Yep, that's the one.
Sign up for Fieldnotes. Fieldnotes is the click here is Bob's.
Correct. It takes you to an affiliate code, and that's where you can sign up. Yep, that gets you the free A to P with your first month, which is a value of $25. So that's going to save you that
Okay.
that money.
So what do I tell the girls it's going to cost them for the first month? 51 bucks?
No, first month is 46, and then the next following month is 51.
Oh, okay. First.
So now I have the Soup Keys email in your
Okay.
account. So I'll continue to send stuff to that as well.
Yeah, that's because there's two pair of eyes on that email box. So
Perfect.
nothing usually goes sideways, but Okay,
Absolutely.
so let me talk to the girls. So when I create my own account under Bob's, do I get my own affiliate link at that point?
Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
So I can sign up the other two?
In theory, yes, you can. However, I would have to show you where that link is.
Oh, I guess I can just give it to because if they all sign up through Bob, they will get the whatever $25 discount, right?
They get the free gift for signing up through that referral, yes.
Okay, very good. So I'm not gonna make it complicated and I will just use Bob's for all three accounts.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. If and when you have other people that you've spoken to about, what CRM you use, and you suggest to them this product, and I do a demo with them and I show them what it is and they like to sign up, I share them yours.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how that would play out.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'll just talk to the girls today and we'll get the stuff going tomorrow.
Amen. No, I'm eager. I'm eager to see how we can help you guys out. I'm glad that you've thought about this well and which program is going to best suit you. And I hope that just like everybody else that has come to the CRM, they're happy and that they get the best use case out of their system. So
okay, so that's it for today.
Bill, did you have something?
Yeah, back up a little bit. Are you guys set up to use AI at all, or for us to use AI?
We've got some, like, when you say AI, what are you talking about? Because there's
like setting up campaigns. If we design a paragraph or we design a topic, then can we run it through your AI and have it fine tune it so it's a better wording and stuff?
I would say you can do that independently in any of the many different AIs that are available, right?
Okay.
And then you can give it prompts to create those action plan drip campaign. You can call it action plans, drip campaigns, and it will basically, if you tell it, I need a drip campaign, 2 messages per week, and I need this to go for 3 months, and this is the topic. And if you give it a good prompt, it should be able to, expand out into all the different communications. Then you would then create email by email and kind of import it. And of course, I can show you what's the best method to do that and all that kind of stuff. And then, so in our system, you can request it to create an introductory email. I think there's also an introductory, you can generate a follow-up email. So this is if you're in our system and you really, you quickly wanted to send out somebody a follow-up email, you could use that in our system and it would create you a follow-up email for a given contact, right?
And make it
And
personalized to that individual and
correct. It will use their contact information and do that. That's just real quick. There's also 4 options. So introductory, a follow-up, reach out to a cold lead. So if this person's just a cold lead that you found, you could create one and generate a referral email. So if you wanted to send them or, you know, tell them, hey, you can refer this product to your family and friends, something, that's what that can be done. So those are options within hours.
yeah.
And then if you like that email that just, you know, that it just created, you could actually save it as a template. And then you'll have that as a template. And then you can use that on other people as an introductory. So
Okay.
but yeah, but when you what you're talking, I would most likely polish it within the AI, like ChatGPT and all the other different variants that exist. I would build it and then maybe put it into like a Word document so that you have it saved. And then from there, just build out your emails, right? And that I can help you do because you most likely want to kind of have the same type of format. So what we can do is build one template that you copy a bunch of times and then just copy paste the information. And then it's going to kind of look all kind of formatted and it'll save you time having to format each one and kind of create the same type of styling and things like that. And so,
Okay.
but yeah,
Okay. Perfect.
beautiful. Well, it was a
Well,
pleasure.
it
Yes.
was a pleasure. Yeah, it's been an hour, 10 minutes instead of 30.
Well, we
Is Estella,
go strong
is
with these.
Estella
Mhm.
still there?
Stella, I think she is. She's quiet today. She's
Yeah,
kind
she's very quiet because
of, but there she is. She's
yeah,
I'm,
you're muted. You're supposed to say you rang. Isn't that
yeah, this
the
was great. This was great. Thank you. I'm so glad that Michelle, you joined us. And I'll just say this, Jeremy is phenomenal and the product is phenomenal.
okay. Have you been
thank you.
using it long?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I need to, but I'm still working on it. I let everything else get in front of it, but between now and the end of December, I will be up and running strong.
Amen.
Okay. Awesome.
All
Okay,
right.
so Guy, I've got to go too. So
Ciao, ciao, everybody.
we will talk to you sometimes this week.
Sure.
All
I'm
right.
available. You've got all my info to get me on the phone, email,
Yep.
or in a Zoom. So it was a pleasure, guys. Thank
Okay.
you for
Bye.
considering us. Ciao, ciao, everybody.
All right.
Bye,
Thank
Bob.
you.
Bye bye.